Hello, it's me, John, of the Bronies UK YouTube channel, back again for another video. Today, if I may, I would like to kind of take things to a bit more of a serious note to a degree. I have made a video of this nature before, but I want to kind of do an updated perspective of it. Also, the video that I'm going to kind of emulate kind of my words to a degree of a video that I uploaded to this channel quite early on when we first made the channel, and it was actually a video response to Saberspark, who many of you within the fan base will probably be aware of. A fellow Brony and a fellow fan of animation, pretty much all animation, as well as Ponies MLP. So, as you can see on the title page, this is going to be a little discussion of the hate and the labelling and the demoralising and the damn right just awful kind of treatment and words and everything that's been directed towards fans of My Little Pony. Especially those that are my age, a little bit younger and a little bit older, that are part of the Brony, Pegasus, the whole shebang fan base. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this up is I have alluded to this a little bit in the live stream we did. The post UK PonyCon. I kind of mentioned this a little bit. But I want to talk about it here. Obviously, UK PonyCon was last weekend, and I got talking to a woman who was there, who was part of the vendor hall, trader hall. She was there selling some items and things, along with, I think, her husband and such. She was a really lovely woman, and she was she was older than me, obviously. I don't know exactly how old, I don't want to speculate, but, you know, she was older than me. But yeah, she was also a fan of the series. Obviously, she was there selling plushies and selling all sorts of toys and items from Equestria Girls and My Little Pony, Fetchman's Magic, and all sorts of different stuff. So she's obviously a fan of the series, and she's obviously watched it, and obviously her partner must also be a fan of it as well. I would assume. So yeah, we get to talking. I go out for a vape. I take a little 5-minute break to get some fresh air, and she's out there as well. And me and Lawrence, our fellow co-host here and fellow member of the channel, he came out for a vape with me, and we both get talking to her. And we basically get talking and discuss about all sorts of different things about the convention, how we feel the weekend's been, and how things have been for them when it comes to the table and all that kind of jazz, just general chit chat. But then we start getting into a very deep discussion about negativity with the people who like the series. She said she witnessed a little bit of pointing and laughing and a bit of discrimination from a few young university students that pass by the queue. So she discussed about that that she witnessed, and she actually, apparently, I believe she actually mentioned, or she said something to them saying, "You don't know what you're on about. You don't know what's going on here. You're seeing it on face value alone. But yet, if you was part of this and you was actually in there along with everybody, you would know that there's actually nothing weird going on. There's nothing bad about what's going on at this convention. It's actually a very nice space, safe space for everybody to be themselves and to express themselves. That's the whole point of conventions." But obviously there's this this negative and this narrow-mindedness in society, where we have to somehow we have to kind of like follow the narrative of life. We have to follow this narrative of we have to conform, should I say, in a certain way. When we're kids, very young kids to toddler to early teens, video games, anything of that nature, watching cartoons, watching animation, watching Disney, that stuff is relatively fine. No one's going to really, batter an eyelid at that. As soon as you start to get into your 16 above, in your 20s, I'm in my 30s, things start to get a little bit more negative, especially aimed at fans of My Little Pony. Now, to a degree, I can see from people on the outside looking in, it would look a little bit strange. Now, this whole phenomenon with My Little Pony, many of you part of the fan base will already know that the journey of how it came to be. It was something that started on 4chan. It was an underground thing that happened on a website called 4chan. That's where the Brony thing emerged and started. That was the start and embers of it. And of course, it centres mostly around the success of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, which started in 2010. And a good majority of the fan base roughly started watching around about season 2, season 3. Some people, including Lawrence, our good friend, kind of discovered it a little bit later on when the movie came out in, I think, 2017. Or was it 2015? Anyway, when the movie came out for Friendship is Magic. In my case, I discovered the series back in about 2012, 2013. I was never a fan of the previous generations of My Little Pony. I have tried to watch or watched a little bit of G3, G2 and original. It's just not for me. It was not for me. When I heard about a brand new cartoon, a My Little Pony cartoon coming out, and it started way back in 2010, I was aware of it. I had no intention of watching it, and I had no intention of doing anything with it, and I never thought I would be here today making a dedicated channel with two good friends of mine. I never thought in a million years this would ever happen, and making videos of this nature. I never thought it would happen because it is something that I've had to keep secret from certain people, family members, or no, not completely secret, but I've had to kind of be a bit more very careful with how I come over with it. Let's just say there's some narrow-minded people within my family, some people that might kind of frown upon it, maybe friends as well. And so me, Sam and Lawrence, we pretty much, well, Lawrence is a lot more open about it, which I'm very respectful of. With me saying that, I don't have any, with me kind of being very secret, a bit more secretive and a little bit more reserved around being a fan of My Little Pony, of being a fan of it, I'm not, how can I put this? I'm not keeping it secret. I'm very, I find it difficult to kind of answer that because with everything else I'm a fan of, I'm very open with. I'm a fan of animation, Disney, Pixar, DreamWorks, Blue Sky, all sorts of different animation studios. I love stop motion animation. I love all sorts of animation, and mature stuff as well as stuff that's more centered around young teens and kids, things like that. I'm very nostalgic about stuff that I used to watch when I was a kid. I sometimes still revisit some of those series and shows and things and films. So, I do have a fondness for animation, in most of its, I just have a fondness for animation. And I'm not shy. There we go. That's a good way to explain it. I'm not shy about expressing my hobbies. I've been making videos. I have a different YouTube channel. I deliberately keep it separate. Sorry, I deliberately keep this. The whole idea of this channel was it came about that me and Sam, my fellow co-host, we wanted to talk about our thoughts on My Little Pony, the series, Frederick's Magic, as well as Equestria Girls and the movie. We wanted to express ourselves, but we didn't know exactly how to go about that without certain people we knew finding out. So we both have our separate YouTube channels, as well as Lawrence. He has his own as well. But we decided to make a whole new YouTube channel, whole new chapter, and keep it separate and a dedicated channel for this sort of thing. And that was the whole idea. And yeah, I'm glad we did make the channel, because I am quite proud of this channel. We all are to a degree. It's an outlet for us to kind of outpour our love for and support for the series and the new stuff that's coming out, like Make Your Mark and all that stuff, and whatever comes in the future after Make Your Mark. You know, I'm very glad that we decided to make the channel and come together, you know, because it's great to kind of share a mutual interest, people it's good that I have two good friends that actually share my enthusiasm for this series and this franchise, from Frederick's Magic and Make Your Mark. You know, all three of us share it and have a mutual interest and appreciation, and it's good to know that I have that, or that is there. Some people unfortunately don't have that. Some people unfortunately have to be very secretive and very careful, and that's why conventions are so important, because a lot of people communicate online through Discord servers, through forums, YouTube, whatever it may be. They always use other methods to communicate with other people that are that also have mutual interest as well in what they're into. And yeah, so that's why conventions are so important, because conventions are so important because, you know, you can be yourself in that environment. It's a safe environment. No one's going to judge you. You can be yourself. You can express yourself through cosplay, through makeup, through dance, through song, music, through art, through whatever it may be, whatever medium it may be. You know, you can express yourself in that, and you can be open with it. And that's what I love about conventions. And I've been going to conventions since about 2010. Yeah, 2010, literally the year of Frederick's Magic first started. So I've been going. 2010 was one of my first convention experiences, or was the first convention experience I had, and I've been going to conventions ever since then. But like I said, getting back on the pony side of things, so yeah, basically I got into it around about 2012, 2013. Like I said, wasn't really interested in ponies before that, and I did not have the intention at all to check out Frederick's Magic. But I managed to stumble upon a random episode. There was an episode where Spike is eating the gems, and Spike is trying to make a cake for Rarity, and he keeps eating the gems. And I believe that was an episode part of season 2, I believe, or whatever. Or whatever. It was an episode anyway. It was halfway through, so it was almost finished. So I watched the rest of it. I thought, okay, wasn't too bad. And then I went back and watched the entire episode. And I thought I chuckled a few times, thought it was quite fun, innocent, thought, yeah, okay. It's better than what I was thinking about. Certainly better than what I've seen from checking out certain bits from G2, G3 and all that. And then curiosity killed the cat sort of thing. I decided to go right back to season 1, and I literally blitzed the first 5 or 6 episodes in one day, in one evening, and I just got hooked ever since. And then I got into Equestria Girls, and me and Sam went to go and see the My Little Pony movie when that came out 3 times at the cinema. Yeah, so we've been avid fans ever since. And yeah, I mean, for me, is people don't understand is there is deep meaning and deep reason why there is such a diverse age group. And unfortunately, people don't analyse things like people with a brain. Some people are brainless, mindless, controlled puppets. That feel they have to conform to a certain narrative and a certain direction. People are just brought up in different ways, very in old-fashioned ways and narrow-minded ways. And unfortunately, that's what causes the issues. That's what causes the hateful comments, the trolling, and the cyberbullying, and all sorts of stuff that's happened within the fan base. There's been there has been channels that have literally disappeared that were really, really good channels that made some great videos and content, and people that did animations, people that fan animation, people that did music, produced music, and all sorts of different things. And you don't know exactly the reason why that channel went to a degree, or was stopped, or they stopped making videos, or that channel just was deleted. There could have been multiple different reasons. It could have been they just simply moved on. That happens. People move on. People just get bored of something after a while, and they move on to something new. So they decide to finish or stop and either erase it, or there's a much more serious, deeper meaning to it. And sometimes it's down to hate comments, maybe cease and desist letters that Hasbro started. I remember Hasbro, there was an issue. Hasbro started doing cease and desist letters to people that were doing fan animation stuff, and all that kind of stuff, which caused a bit of a problem. So there's all sorts of different reasons why some people left, and also it's also down to cyberbullying and generally being treated like shit for literally no reason, for literally simply just liking a cartoon that happens to be talking pastel ponies. It's quite ridiculous, really, and it's bloody sad as well that people can be that decisive and that evil and that awful over something that is so pure and innocent. It's just ridiculous. So with all that said, and with the discussion I had with that woman at UK PonyCon this past weekend, it just had me thinking about, it really grinds my gears. Now, I shouldn't really make a video like this because I know I'm probably going to get comments saying that you're just kind of adding fuel to the fire with this. You are going to purposely attract the trolls. To be honest with you, I don't care if I do get troll attention on this video. I know that I've got enough up here to know that I can just simply block them, or I can get YouTube involved with it to a degree. It's not going to stop me expressing myself. They're not going to stop me from expressing myself. No matter what they try to do, I'm always open-minded, and I'm always outspoken when it comes to the things that I love and I appreciate, and family, friends, close friends and family, and anything to that nature. I'm very outspoken and very protective of. So this is one of those things. My Little Pony Fidget Magic, and this channel, the videos we make are they hold a special place in my heart, and the mutual kind of, having that mutual thing with Lawrence and Sam it also makes it very special. Now, getting back onto the track of, the narrow-mindedness and egotistical and nonsensical comments and hatred and, and also kind of like the labelling, which is the worst thing. And also the narrow-mindedness within the media as well, which caused a lot of problems. I remember like the BBC here in the UK did a report on people that were fans of it of a certain age, and that kind of gave, and even in American outlets as well, people that just do not understand. Simply, they just don't understand what's going on, and they're looking at it from the outside, looking in. They see it from a certain prospect that this could be troubling, this could be a problem, and simply label everybody under the same brush and as predators, as maybe paedophiles, things of that nature that has been uttered. And that is generally why most of the hatred towards fans, especially the male fans, the Bronies and everything, most of the negativity and most of the labelling is towards us, those that happen to be male. And it's, I won't say it doesn't happen. I won't say it doesn't happen to female fans of the series. Of course, no doubt there has been issues with women, Pegasisters or women or whatever part of the fan base. There's most certainly has been some stories and issues there, but it seems more that it's more directed at men, because the reason for that is My Little Pony was originally designed as a toy for girls. It was they came out in 1982. The toy line started in 1982, and they were basically a rival to the Barbie doll. It was basically a pony. It was a rival to the Barbie doll. Okay. And the whole idea of it is that you could play with the hair. You could accessorize the ponies. You could do this and do that with them. And it was all to do with that. It was a toy that was more targeted towards a girl or young girls. And then, but obviously, yeah, so that was how it started, and I understand that. Why there's negativity is because it's a girl's toy. At least that's how it was originally targeted at. Now with Friendship is Magic, when we got to Gen 4, it was a whole different kettle of fish, because obviously, I won't say there's no fan, and obviously there is people that are fans of Gen 1, Gen 2 and Gen 3, which is all good, Personally, I'm not as fond of those three generations. I'm much more fond of Gen 4 and Gen 5 and the movies we've had within recent years. That's my jam. That's where I am. Now, with Friendship is Magic and everything, when that came out, now, of course, when the first 3 seasons of Friendship is Magic is very much kind of a little bit reminiscent, but at the same time a little different of previous generations, where you can tell it is a lot more grounded. The first three seasons are a lot more grounded. Still a vast improvement over what we've seen previously with G3, G2 and G1, but it was more grounded, and you could tell it was a lot more centered towards girls. Then around about season 3 is when it just erupted. Hasbro started, because obviously it was originally going to finish at season 3, Friendship is Magic. hence why season 3 is such a short series compared to everything else. So we basically then get this. Hasbro finally see the numbers, the viewership. We're onto something here. So it gets renewed for a 4th season, 5th season, 6th season, 9 seasons altogether. In the end, and a movie as well. Apparently, they started actually producing the movie around about season 3, season 4. Apparently, quite early into the production of the series. But they knew there was onto something, and what surprised them was the diversity with age group and the percentage of how many boys was watching the series, young boys, as well as girls. Of course, girls kind of was a higher percentage, but for a series that is more centered towards girls, they had quite a large amount of percentage of boys, young boys watching it. So obviously it was gravitating the attention of boys, which was pretty unheard of for the My Little Pony franchise up to that point. I wouldn't say no boys watched the previous generations. Of course there would have been, but this was a very large percentage compared to what they'd seen in previous parts of the franchise and series. So they started to see that there was a pretty diverse between the sexes of boys and girls. There was a very, very, very large percentage of boys. And then they also started noticing there was a much significant age jump. Men in their 20s and 30s and so on that were starting to gravitate towards it as well. So it became such a phenomenon in that respect. And then conventions started sprouting up, like BronyCon, Everfree Northwest in America, and then you got UK PonyCon that is 20 years old now, 20 years old next year. It's just a phenomenon. So all over the world, you've got the convention circuit for it, dedicated fan base convention circuit in America and in Europe and UK, starting to sprout up conventions around it because of how much of a phenomenon, not just for Friendship is Magic, but the franchise of My Little Pony, it was as well, previous generations, but Friendship is Magic was more the defining series that really defined the fan base and the following to it, and what really seemed to capture the imagination of so many people, artists, writers, musicians, everybody that works in animation. Any sort of creativeness. It could also be clothing, cosplay, everything. It created such a big buzz and such a massive hype and phenomenon that Hasbro just did not realise they had such a gold mine on their hands with it. And obviously Lauren Faust was originally the creator of Friendship is Magic. It was her series. She was the one that came up with the concept design, the character designs, the world building, the world, Equestria. It all came from her imagination of playing with her ponies and other toys that she had when she was little. So Lauren Faust, she is the mother of the series of Friendship is Magic. She created it, and but unfortunately she she left the series, I think, from after season 3. But it is such a Friendship is Magic is very special on many reasons, and also we've mentioned about people on the spectrum as well. It helps to kind of, it's helped people of all degrees of life. When it comes to people on the spectrum, when it comes to people who have such a creativeness, creative brain, and like to write stuff like fan fiction writing when it comes to art, music, all that kind of jazz, animation. It just created such a big buzz and such a very diverse, creative fan base. And it was very interesting to look into. But it was also thanks to kind of to try and get past all the negative media attention it was getting at the time as well at the time. There is, I believe, there's like 3 documentaries that have been released. There's one of them that I haven't seen. Our good friend Lawrence has mentioned about this one that actually kind of like goes around the world, following fans around the world rather than just in America or Canada. So I haven't seen that one, but there's 2 very good MLP or Brony documentaries. One that follows Tara Strong and another one that follows Ashley Ball. And I've watched both of those, and that gives you a very good, definitive kind of look at the fan base. And these are just regular people. We are all just regular people. We are not all predators. We are not, dare I even think it, people that, would do bad things to young kids or whatever. We are not like that whatsoever. We're just people that love a series that happens to be about talking ponies, pastel ponies. So it's kind of this thing of why the negativity? Why does there have to be negativity? And we're in 2023 now. Animation is getting much more universal and much more recognised than ever before. It's more people are starting to watch Japanese animation than ever before. French animation. Animation is getting so popular. It always has been popular, but now, thanks to things like Netflix and Prime Video and Disney Plus and Hulu or wherever it is in the world that you've got like all these services that are producing original animated series and films and things. Animation is getting much more accessible now, and it's getting very diverse and very interesting, and all these very creative stuff that we're getting. There's some fantastic stuff on Netflix, really is. But yet there's still the negativity. I don't think making a video like this isn't gonna make it stop. I know that. But I just want to kind of make this video as like a ray of hope for those people that are part of the fan base that feel they can't talk about it or feel they can't express themselves. You can. There is nothing to be there's nothing. Even though I've said a part of this video that, me and Sam kind of wanted to make this channel separate to our main channels, for the reason of certain people in our lives, the people we knew, we didn't want certain people to see what this side of things that, certain people are a bit narrow-minded that we know, and we wanted to kind of make a dedicated channel so we wouldn't get that negative attention that we just don't want. But this, obviously, so even though I've said things like that, but the fact that we've made a dedicated channel, when all 3 of us, me, Lawrence and Sam, have come together through mutual interest in this series and franchise, going from Frenchman's Magic onwards, and going to conventions like UK PonyCon and so on. Through doing that as a group as 3 friends, it's a special thing, and it holds a special place in my heart. and I've got nothing to worry about. I generally don't give a shit what people think about me liking a cartoon about ponies. End of the day, it's sad that something so pure and innocent as what this series is, it has great messages in there. Friendship is Magic is just an abundance of great messages. Confidence, loyalty, laughter, be true to yourself, be happy in your own skin. All these really good, strong, uh, messages and things to live by and to remember as you grow up and as you get older. And it spreads positivity and it spreads a good message, and that's what I love about Friendship is Magic. And to a degree, Make Your Mark also does a similar thing, as well. But so yeah, there's the video for today. So yeah, you're never going to stop the trolls. The only way to do that is just block them and report them to YouTube or to Facebook or whatever kind of platform you use. You just block them and don't take it to heart. End of the day, they're just keyboard warriors at the end of the day. People living in their mother's basements with nothing better to do with their lives. That's all. That's how I see trolls. That's how I see people that spread negative comments and negative words, hateful words, spread bullshit like things like Predator and this, that, and the other. We live in a society where everything's labelled, everyone's labelled, and it's a very sad state of affairs, in my opinion. But end of the day, like what you like, love what you love. No matter what it may be, just take confidence that in what you love and what you like to do. If you're a creative person, if you like to cosplay, if you're into animation, if you're into drama, acting, if you're into be a voice actor, if you're into art, drawing, comic books, whatever it may be, writing, whatever it could be, that's the beautiful thing about this fan base. It welcomes anybody from, it welcomes everybody. I mean, at UK PonyCon, there was people dressed as characters from different franchises, not just ponies, and it was allowed, accepted, and welcomed. And that just says everything about the dedicated conventions and how special conventions are. They accept people from all different directions, different franchises that are also fans of different franchises, except for just ponies. They accept all, and that's the beautiful thing about conventions. And unfortunately, you're going to get negativity, you're going to get narrow-mindedness. No doubt there was security staff or staff inside at the actual convention itself that were a little bit weirded out by people walking by with plushes, grown men, grown women, they, them, whatever, walking by with, pony toys and things. But end of the day, we were all there, we all enjoyed ourselves, we were hanging out with good friends, people we speak to online. I'm talking about, because a lot of people kind of make friendships online. They communicate online through Discord, through servers, through Facebook Messenger, through YouTube, through whatever, forums, Reddit, whatever it could be, any sort of internet source where they feel they are much more safer doing so. And a lot of people feel that they are trapped within the things that they love because they feel they can't express themselves because they're scared of being targeted by cyberbullying and by trolls and hateful comments. I've been on the receiving end of it for a lot over the years, and I've just grown a much more thicker skin with it, and I just laugh them off. Because it's just sad. They just don't have a life, these people that spread hatred and target people like us that like a series about ponies and things like that. It's just sad. It's just sad. They just don't have a life. They just don't have a life. They just don't have anything going on in their lives. They're probably, those people that spread hate, they're probably a geek in their own right, because they probably, deep down, they probably have watched the series, or maybe they have watched one of the films, but yet they would never say it out loud. They're probably a fan of video games, watching movies, going to watch Disney films or Pixar films at the cinema. They are probably people that do those things, but yet they still like to bring other people down. It's sad. It's just sad and pathetic, absolutely pathetic, really. But anyway, so that's the video I wanted to do today. Thank you for your support on the channel. Thank you to the recent subscribers. Please comment below. Even do a video response if anybody wishes to. About if you wish to divulge of your experiences with this sort of thing, and where you lie, and where you feel you are with this sort of thing. It would be great to kind of hear from that if you wish to go down that road. I mean, I know people are very, very careful about expressing things of this nature, which I completely respect and understand. But if anybody wishes to do a response video-wise, or even just comment below the video, it would be fantastic to get some feedback with that. Any trolls that tried to kind of get in there because of watching this, and if my videos popped up in your promotions and you've watched it and you don't like it, then haha, welcome to the channel. But yeah, I will just be blocking you and reporting you to YouTube, as everybody should do when it comes to cyber shit like that. Yes, so thank you for watching. I'll be back with more videos very soon on the channel here, and we'll be trying to do live streams at least every fortnight. So thank you for your support. Hope you enjoy the videos we have yet to come, and what is yet to come on the channel from all three of us. But thank you. Take care of yourselves and be true to yourself. Express yourself. Love what you want to love. Express what you want to express. Love cartoons, love ponies, love it all. Go for it. See you soon. Bye-bye.